fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the CPI, the FedWatch Tool, and the Grayscale Trust. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so CPI this morning came out and it was not good. I mean, it was not horrifying, but the CPI definitely did not come in as I would have liked to have seen, which would have been lower than expectations. Instead, it came in higher than expectations. That's not great. So core inflation month over month up 0.1 percentage point. Core inflation year over year up well, in this case, compared to the prior, it would have been up 0.2 percentage points, but I'm going based on the forecast here. On this one, core inflation up 0.2 percentage points to 3.3%. And again, this is not fantastic. We don't want to see this go up because then that means there is a less of a likelihood that the Fed's going to cut rates. And let's see, I believe this is the headline inflation rate. So month over month up 0.2 percentage points and year over year up 0.1 percentage points. So that's not fantastic. It does appear that, well, by this time, apparently it does appear that Jay Powell has already spoken. So that's interesting. Apparently, Jay Powell is supposed to have spoken before and after both CPI and PPI. PPI is tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's possible. It's interesting because the CPI, I mean, naturally the market's dumped on it, but then they recovered. So I'm not sure if what's really going on here is the CPI came out and it was bad news and maybe the Feds are talking up the markets. I'm honestly not sure because I would have expected a full-blown dump, but we didn't see that, shockingly. So Bitcoin still kind of bobbing around, not doing much. NASDAQ trying to test this major level right here. It's a major level because if I go out on the weekly time frame, you can see the NASDAQ very similar to Bitcoin. I've told you guys this before. Its markets are mainly just going sideways right now, trying to figure out what they want to do. But yeah, basically we're just testing this level right here that we are having kind of a bit of a difficulty to try to break out of. It looks like we may break out of it this week. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. So anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the trusts. So there is some green on the day. And again, I am actually quite surprised by this because the CPI came in not good. As a matter of fact, if I take a brief look at it, and again, I don't want to go too deep into this because this is not one of those videos, but I do think it matters at this point. I think I have to go to, let's see, monthly. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why it's not actually showing here. I may have to pull up a different chart at a different point in time, but it appears that it's been going down, but I'm pretty confident it's actually been going up for the last few months. So I'll have to try to find a chart for you guys that shows that. But regardless, for some reason, the markets are actually going up. So interestingly, we are also getting a first green candle on LTCN in quite a few months. I'm sure you guys are probably pretty stoked to see that. Okay, so it appears that as for now, this $9 level has held. It looks like it's trying to push back up. Long wick to the downside. That's obviously very bullish. I would still say that $9 area would be something to look at. And then I would be looking for anywhere between 27 to 54 here for a target for about 540% gain. There is this level here to kind of in between 12 to 1850 to also keep an eye on. So BCHG, this one does also look like it's holding these wick lows down here. Again, I'm not really surprised. That was a major support. So that's right around that $3 area. Again, if you didn't get in down there, that may be a level to keep your eye on for now, just to kind of like if you're looking to get these on the cheap, maybe to pick some up or not. I mean, again, it's up to you. So, but we got 355 to 420, 5 to 580, and then 1040 to 1240. I'd still be looking for that kind of 1250 to 2425 area. For a potential target, I do think it's possible it can get up there relatively quick. It's just a matter of what is the catalyst going to be that actually sends them up there. So 700%. HZEN, this is mainly just sideways. I mean, you can literally see it right here, this whole big block of price action. So 260 to 290 right now is the buy zone. Targets, I'd be looking for anything from 820 going up to 1030 on this one. For about 285% gain, ETCG. Excuse me. Okay, so you got this gap here that needs to be filled from 1090 to about 1130. I would say right around the white line is the best area to buy. So somewhere between maybe like $9 to $10 would be the most ideal zone at this current point in time, with targets going up to about 19 to $20 on this one. So potentially about a 2x if you manage to get your cost down there. So 123% gain here, ETH. Again, mainly just sideways. At this point, I would probably say around 18 to 20 could be a good area. If it does manage to get down there, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And the target here in this case would be the highest target, so 72.50 for about 290% gain. And again, that is that small cup and handle pattern. If that were, or not, I'm trying to remember, what was this? Yeah. This would be the smaller cup and handle pattern right here. So you got your cup and then your handle, and then this would be the target up here. Okay, GBAT kind of hanging on the lows here, so we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. So that level is anywhere from $3 to about $4. There is also the white line below that at 230. You could look at that too. I'd be positioning for the all-time highs up here at 32. Of course, you guys have your own position, so do what you want with that. 1,170% gain. FILG, so bouncing once again off the lows. It's not really that much of a shock. I mean, there's some people that will literally wait until the until the absolute low. Just, take a look at the price action, look left to see where the low is. And that's probably the lowest low is probably where some of these guys are probably waiting to pick some up. And then you'll have your occasional wick lower than that low to try to stop people out or whatever from basically screwing shorts over on the short side before eventually pumping the price if it is to go long. Also known as stop loss hunting. Okay, so the current buy level would be, in this case, anywhere between, I'd say, probably 20 to about 33. The target would be the all-time highs at 400 for about 1,850% gain. GLIV, same thing, retesting the lows. You got your wick down there trying to stop out the shorts. So probably maybe somewhere between $8 to $9 on this one would be a good area to pick some up. And 80 would be the target for the all-time high in this case for about 885% gain. G-Link, I'd be looking at probably down here around 45, anywhere between 45 to 65 at this point, and then 220 for the targets on the Chainlink Trust. So 400% gain on this one. GSOL still holding that $20 area. It does maybe look like it wants to go a little bit lower here and maybe retest this $18 area. We'll have to see on this one. That's part of the reason why I said initially somewhere between 16 to 24 until that kind of 24 area got broken. But now, as of right now, it'd be 16 to 22 in this case. So the target would be 80 to roughly about 115 on this one. We'll just measure it from the $20 area. So about 480% gain here. GXLM, so this is mainly going sideways. Again, the area to pick some up would be 36 to 40. That's just my opinion. Of course, you guys can come to your own conclusions on that one. 69 to 96 here for the targets for about 155% gain. Now, if for whatever reason, because this is moving sideways at the top and it does end up becoming a distribution and it does end up selling off, which I'm not saying it's going to, but it's always a possibility when you see this sideways move at the top that something like that could happen. I would be looking down first at roughly about 35, where the EMA is, and where this candle top here is, these candle bottoms kind of right around that 35 area. And then I'd be looking all the way down here at 23. If you guys are worried about that, I mean, you see the MACD death cross is about ready to happen. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go straight down, but just something to be aware of. So mana, anywhere between 750 to 1015 on this one for a potential pick me up, and then 70 for the target for the all-time highs. And again, I know these trusts haven't been moving. Unfortunately, the macro is still a thing that we have to talk about in 2025. I roll, I know, because it's stupid. You'd figure that after 4 years of the Fed trying to fight inflation, that they'd be done fighting inflation, but apparently not, right? So anyways, 860% gain on this one. Zcash, so I mean, it's pretty much sitting on a structure right here. This is exactly where I would want to see it to pick some up. So right around the 325 area. If it does go a little bit lower, try to stop loss hunt some people, maybe 285. And then the target I'd be looking at would be about 792, 1050 for about a 220% gain. I mean, again, like I told you guys before, I think that, Trump will probably, I should say, he probably is and probably will continue to try to work to get some of the extenuating circumstances outside of the Fed's control to get the inflationary factors on those killed, basically, so that inflation comes down. It's no longer a problem. And then the Fed can, justifiably cut rates. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. At least that's what I'm expecting. So, but I told you guys this before. It shouldn't come as a shock that I'm repeating this again. Okay, so the FedWatch Tool basically says that there's pretty much a guarantee that in March we're not going to get a rate cut. Again, that's not great. I would at least like to see the Fed come out maybe next month and say, oh, well, we're going to start adding assets back to our balance sheet, even if they're not going to print money. That would still be some kind of form of QE. I think the markets would like that very much, and they'd be very happy about that. But even if they're not going to cut rates, maybe just consider a stop rolling money off the balance sheet and start adding money to it. But again, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I thought for sure that the Fed would have continued cutting this quarter, but clearly they're not going to do that. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.